Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Dalton Ramsey Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the South Greene Rebels baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Dalton Ramsey. Coach,
What's up?
how you doing today?
Can't complain.
Can't complain. Always good when we get to talk about a few wins,
Yeah.
especially talk about a few conference wins, especially one that doubles into a county win too.
Yeah.
We'll jump straight into it. You had the Chucky Doak game at Chucky Doak, originally scheduled for Tuesday,
Yeah.
moved to Wednesday.
Yep.
Moved to Saturday.
Yep.
Finally got it in.
Yep.
It was on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Perfect weather, perfect day. A lot of fans came out to Chucky Doak and watch.
Yeah.
Great display of baseball by you guys. You were able to come out with the win, basically put yourselves in the driver's seat to win the regular season championship. Talk about how great of a Saturday that was for you getting that win.
It felt good. It was one of those things that, I think you forgot to mention, it was pushed to Friday too. So
So it got moved so many times.
So many times, and it was one of those things that the boys were anticipating that, and it felt great to come out on top on that one, and we come in fired up, we come in and did our job that first inning. We kind of got squirrely there towards the end. We had to wind up doing some crafty stuff there at the end that we had to keep pushing forward and keeping the lead. But we did a great job, and I told you after the game, great team win overall. Man, it's great to see these guys working together as a team and winning for each other. That's the big thing. That's one thing that we coach day in, day out here.
And I think when you look at the box score in that game, if you didn't watch the game, you could still tell who the player of the game was. If you watched the game, whether you did or didn't, you looked at the box score and saw Dustin Crum loaded the stat sheet with hits, runs, did great on the mound too.
Yeah.
He was one of the main reasons you won that game. Talk about how crucial it was to have him play at such a high level as a senior leader on Saturday.
Dude, it just shows how much his growth has come over the years that, he's played here. That's a big conference series. We knew going into that, they're sitting at the 1 seed, we're sitting at the 2 seed. If we sweep them, we get the 1 seed. We knew that coming into it. So to see him, progress and be that, overall guy that we needed that day, it just helped us. And it don't just come from him. It's like he said, having a team behind him that was sitting there making plays that, diving catches. I think Susong in the first inning winds up running probably 30 yards and making a leaping catch. And it's plays like that gives him the confidence. And he had a great approach at the plate. Mm-hmm. It was probably by far one of the best mentality games that he ever had. Did it and executed it perfectly. Wound up getting, I think it was 3 hits, wasn't it? 3
or 4. Yeah.
3 or 4. So 3 hits out of it. Overall, just proud of him, proud of the team, the way we played. I'm hoping, we carry that through, through the rest of the season. And I loved our mentality approach, and I hope we keep it.
One that I think I remember, he had a big double off the wall, didn't he?
Yes.
Right off the base of the wall.
Yes.
That kind of reminds me of something else that I meant to talk to you about Saturday after the game.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about it in the article, but I didn't ask you a question about it.
Yeah.
And that was the 2-out hitting that you had, and I can't remember what inning it was, but it was when you had 3 straight doubles with 2 outs.
Yeah.
One of the main keys of baseball is 2-out hitting, and you perfected that perfectly with 3 straight doubles that pushed 2 more runs across the board that you really needed in the end too. How pivotal was that to get those 3 hits back to back to back like that?
Dude, we talk about it day in, day out. If we'll just put the ball in play, we're a great ball club. And, it's one of those things that 2 outs, you have one option. Either you can be the last out or you can put it on the next man. And that's the mentality that we have every single time that we get 2 outs. And I loved that out of us because we wound up doing it again last night against Happy Valley. So it's one of those things that I'm proud of us for not laying down and dying just because we get 2 outs. It don't mean nothing. You could still put up 3-4 runs with 2 outs. That's the thing about baseball. You get 1 more out that you can do something with.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, absolutely. Very proud of us the way we were hitting the ball, way that we, controlled, the 2 outs that we got. We controlled that and we said, okay, we're going to put it on the next man. Let's keep on hitting. So it was a great approach.
With that win, you put yourselves in the driver's seat as we talked about to clinch that regular season championship. You go into the Happy Valley Series, didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a sweep over the Warriors, you got a split. In the end, that doesn't really negatively affect you that much. We'll talk about it in just a minute. But go ahead and talk about the series that you just finished up with them on Monday and Tuesday. Took a loss on Monday, corrected that with a big 11-1 win on Tuesday. Yeah. Give me your thoughts on that series.
Monday, it come in. It was I'm gonna say it's the first warm day that we've had. The first, 80
It was
degree
80s,
day.
yeah.
Like 80-degree day that we had. It was humid because all the rain. I don't know if that played a factor in us because, I mean, during the game we had guys saying, oh, coach, I don't feel so great. I don't feel like I'm here. And that's the thing that kind of upsetted me about that game. If we would have come in and had the same approach that we did Saturday against Chucky Doak, if we would have come in with that same approach and said, you know what, we're not losing this game, I think it would have been a different story. But kudos to Tucker
Schoen.
Tucker
Great
Schoen.
pitcher.
Great pitcher. He throws strikes. He has a great pace of play with him. He does really good about mixing up his speed. We just couldn't catch up to it. And, they jumped out on us hard and scored 4 runs there in like the first or second inning. And I don't know, it didn't really kill us because we were able to add those runs back. But it did hurt us in the sense, we dug ourselves into that deep hole.
You kind of stayed even with them the rest of the game,
Yeah.
but you have that 1/2 inning right there where it just kind of puts you behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, I think it was actually the 3rd inning that it happened because, we back and forth. It was a pitcher's duel at the start of the game, and then they wound up putting up 4 runs. And, just digging that hole, it's just hard for a team to get out of, 2, 3 runs. 1 run, yeah, something can happen that you get lucky on and you score that run. 3, 4, that's a different story. You've got to do some stuff. You've got to put the ball in play, connect it together, string a couple hits together to be able to score those back. But, yes, if we had a different approach, I think it would have been a different outcome. But ability to turn around that very next day and have a great game against them, at first inning we went up 5 runs. So it's hones true to our team that we're able to turn around and flip a switch like that. A couple of years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Did it with West Green earlier this
Yes.
year. You lost 4-0 and you came back and scored 12 runs the next day after getting shut out.
Yes. I mean, that's just the growth that we've had just from that, just from last year even. Last year, I mean, we would turn around, we'd lose a series pretty close series. It might take us a whole week to get back. But I was very proud of us the way we're flipping a switch right now and being able to compete at that level.
I want to rewind real quick because there's something I forgot to ask from that Chucky Doe game Saturday.
Okay.
Mentioning how when you get behind by a large margin early in the game, it's tough to climb back from. That was Chucky Doak's case on Saturday. And one of the main reasons was a huge first inning. Y'all came out of the gate hot.
Yeah.
I think both Graydon and Colby were on base the first 2 batters of the game.
Yes.
And then it finished with a 4th run that came on a double steal.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What's your mindset in that situation where you've got a guy on third and you've got another speedy player on first base with 2 outs also? That's a gutsy move that ended up working in your favor. What's your mindset in that moment?
So, one thing that I always say is we've got to be aggressive. We can't sit here and expect, to win games by not being aggressive. So, absolutely, 2 outs, it's a gutsy play. I knew they were calling a cut. We had, a situation arise. We saw it the night before. We knew the play call, knew he was going to do a cut. Told the guy on third, I think it was Colton at that point.
Okay.
Because Colton was the second batter of the game. So
Okay,
he was
Colton,
on
not
third.
Colby,
Yes,
yes.
yeah. So Colton sitting on third, and I told him, I said, if this ball leaves this catcher's hand, I said, you've got to score it. And I said, you've got to hustle. They're cutting it. And he said, okay. Man, as a freshman, putting that much, 1 year worth of, off-season work and, season work, and he's already making decisions like that, it's immaculate how, how much we've grown just in the coaching, the players, how they're player-led. It's amazing to see that we're able to progress through those plays like that, gutsy plays, safe call easily, at second base. Got a guy in scoring position there too. I think he wound up scoring too just because of that reason. Love it. It's gutsy, yes.
It was a gutsy move.
Gutsy,
It worked, though.
It worked. Got a run out of it. I'm proud of the boys the way they executed it.
Ended up winning that game. Ended up splitting with Happy Valley. And as we talked about, if you were able to sweep Happy Valley, you locked up sole possession of the regular season championship. But with that one loss, if you were able to pick up a win over Hampton on Monday, as we'll preview that game in just a minute after the break, then you would clinch a share of the regular season championship with Chucky Doak and get yourself that number 1 seed going into the district tournament.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But we've got a few messages we need to put on the screen first and pay our sponsors. So we'll be right back in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pawn can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pawn is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pawn help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn's new Right Way Buffet is open and ready for you and your family. Now with new garlic buttery crust and stuffed crust pizza, along with salads and desserts. It's the best part of your day. The all-day, everyday buffet. Only at Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Dalton Ramsey Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the South Greene Rebels baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with South Greene head coach Dalton Ramsey. So you got about 4 games coming up. The next time we'll probably sit down and talk. I know this weekend you've got the Buddy Hawk Classic. Don't know if we talked about it last week on the show or not, but we'll go ahead and touch on it this week for sure. Since around the time this will be airing, you'll have already played one, maybe both of the games.
Yeah.
You've got, I believe it's Volunteer and Coalfield in those games on Thursday and Friday. I know the Buddy Hawk Classic is something that you host every year too.
Yeah.
It's something that you've been a part of in the years that they've had it so far, as it's been a growing tournament the last few years. So talk about how excited you are for this year's edition.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 very, very, very difficult opponents that we're going to be facing in that. And, you know, I like it in that sense. You know, it's going to get us ready for postseason and playing teams that, you know, we hadn't seen before. You know, we've never, you know, I can find some stats on them, but I can't find a lot of stats on them. So it's a perfect opportunity for us to get ready for those games. But, yeah, we've got Volunteer on Thursday here, and then that starts at 5 o'clock. And then I'm pretty sure on Friday we start at 5 again here, and it's versus Coalfield. And then the Volunteer and Coalfield is going to play right after us at 7:30. So, yeah, it's very exciting times here on Rebel Hill. We're going to have a couple teams come in that, you know, probably has never been here before ever, and we'll see how it goes.
And they might not ever play here again,
Yeah,
too.
they
It's,
may not,
that's
maybe
one of the
not.
fun things about playing in classics like that.
Yeah.
You go play at venues that you've never been to, may never play it again. It's maybe the only time some of those kids ever play at these venues.
And that's the one thing I like about this Green Fling. You know, you're playing teams that, you know, really good competitions that you might not ever see again. So you get a good feel of different competition here and there. Have no clue what they're going to do, and they may come in and throw a freshman. We may come in and throw a freshman. You never know, but it's a perfect opportunity for you to get extra reps coming into the postseason.
And it's not tournament-based either, I don't believe. You
No.
have group play.
Group play,
but
pool play, yeah.
not tournament-based, so you don't have to worry about pitching the next day and
Exactly.
holding players back, too. So that's a good thing about it being a baseball tournament, too. With softball, it's a little different. No
Oh, yeah.
pitch count. You don't have to hold players back. You can
Oh,
throw
yeah.
whoever you want. But
Oh, yeah.
with baseball, it's a little different, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Going into next week, too, you've got 2 games that we'll discuss. You've got, I believe, Hampton on Monday. That's the
Hampton on
game we
Monday.
talked about that will decide whether you were the number 1 seed and you get that co-split with Chucky Doak.
Yeah.
And then you've got a game with North Greene following that on Tuesday
Yeah.
to finish that home and away series with them this year. So, of course, going into the Hampton game, you have to carry out business in that game.
Absolutely.
What's your mindset and what's your thoughts going into that game on Monday?
So, I mean, when we faced them here, you know, we kind of had a sluggish start at the start of the game, and, you know, we finally picked it up, wound up run ruling them, but it took us a little bit to do that. So I hope we come out with a better mentality of, you know, let's get going from the get-go instead of waiting until 3-4 innings into the game and then starting. The good news for us, you know, they play conference as well on Friday as another makeup. You know, they had to play it. So, you know, there may be some pitchers that Hampton has that might not throw against us, but again, you never know. He may actually watch his pitch count and be able to be ready to go against us on Monday. Point and Coon threw here against us. Point threw against us. I'd have to look at the stat book because he ran 25 pitches for about 3 different people against us. So it's hard telling who we're going to see, but the good news is we may have seen who we're going to face. So, yeah, if we come in, do what I know we can do, and come in prepared to that game, I think we'll be fine.
And then you get North Greene on Tuesday, a game that you won earlier in the year and snapped an 8-year winless drought,
Yeah.
if that's right.
Losing
yes.
streak, if you
Yes,
want to say
losing
that.
streak, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
against North Greene. Almost jumbled up my words right
Yeah.
there. But going into this matchup, You know North Green's going to be looking for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's always a hard-fought matchup whenever you play the Huskies, too, and
Yeah.
you match up against them. So what do you expect when you play them on Tuesday?
Oh yeah, they're going to be fired up. I mean, me and J-Lo, pretty close, and we talk about it all the time. You know, it's one of those things that I'm proud of the boys for the way we snapped it, but now we've got to go out and play pretty darn good, you know, because they're going to come in fired up. It's probably going to be a different ball club. They probably ain't going to make as many errors as what they did. We come out and do our job, play our game, throw strikes, let them hit it, make the easy outs. I think, you know, we're going to have the potential to be on top again. And it's going to take, like I said, it's going to take us playing a really good ball game for that to happen. Now, it is going to be our senior night, so I'm looking forward to, you know, the seniors understanding it's probably one of their few last home games. I think we wind up playing later on, but I went ahead and scheduled it for.
It's a smart thing to do during spring.
Yeah, schedule it for North Green. Pretty weather's supposed to be, so you know, go ahead and play it. Seniors are going to be a little emotional that game, understanding that it's one of their few games last year at South Green, and I mean the seniors I have this year, they've left an imprint on our program, so it's definitely going to be a good night for us, and I think, you know, if we come in and play our game that we know how to play, it'll be good for us.
It's one of my favorite things to do every year is whenever you get to talk about senior night, because it's one of those conversations you get to have where you reflect on the 1, 2, 3, 4 years that you've spent with those certain players that you're recognizing on that night.
Yeah.
I know you've been around the program for 3 years now, one as an assistant, 2 as a head coach. Some of these players you've known all 3 years that you've been here so far. Some of them have played all 4 years and were here longer than you have been too.
Yeah.
So the 3 years that you've spent with some of these players or the years that you've spent with them, talk about each senior and how much they've meant to the program.
Okay. Dustin Crum, we'll start with him. You know, he come in as a freshman, you know, based on what I know, come in as a freshman, played a lot of games, played a lot of pitching for him, and, you know, he's one that develops, you know, very well for our team. He you know, great leader on the team, great guy that pushes over the edge. You know, he's one of those guys that you look to be, you know, our motivator, our guy that says, hey, let's get our stuff together, let's go. And, you know, he does a great job with that. Graydon Rader, same boat as Dustin, plays, you know, all 4 years of high school. Very, very good leader. I think, you know, Graydon's not really a vocal guy, but by gosh, if you see him on the field, he gives his all. It's like last night. Last night we start out the game warm-ups. He's throwing up in the middle of the field. Wake takes the dirt, throws it on top of it, and continues playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see that from a guy, you understand that he trusts this team. He wants to give his all for this team. So, yeah, absolutely. He, you know, 2 great leaders right there. I also have TJ Buckner. Took a year off last year. Come in this year, you know, had to work in, you know, gaining, you know, hey, I'm here now. I'm ready to play. Had to gain that back. Done an exceptional job all year long. Come in and put all his effort into it. Great outfielder for us. Great guy at the plate for us. Man, he's grown as a individual tremendously. Love that kid.
He might have the best walk-up song.
Absolutely, yeah. A little sexy boy.
Little Shawn Michaels. He's got my favorite.
Yeah, a little sexy boy. So we like to call him Pretty Boy sometimes because he always wants to come in, look pretty. So, but yeah, love TJ, love Dustin, love Graydon, and then also Levi Treadway. You know, one of those guys that absolutely, you know, you can always depend on him to be my utility guy. Hey, Levi, I need you to go to second. Hey, Levi, I need you to bunt this ball. Hey, Levi, I need you to go in and hit. Hey, Levi, I need you to go play first base. I think, in all honesty, this season, I think he's played every single position.
Really?
There might be... He has not played catcher yet in a game.
And this year?
This year.
Has he played catcher previously?
Previously, yes.
Okay, so
in
his
years
time
before,
here
yes.
at South Green, he's played at every single position.
Yes,
Wow.
utility guy, moves around, great team player. Like he wants the best for the team, and that's, you know, might not be the best option for that day, but by gosh, he's going to put his all if he goes into the game, and that's what I tell him day in day out, dude. If we didn't have you, we wouldn't be complete. So love all 4 of my seniors this year. We're a great program. We're a great developing program, and these 4 guys have put a tremendous amount of effort into it.
And they'll be recognized on Tuesday night. So if you're able to make it out on Tuesday night, go down to South Green and check out senior night. Monday, you've got that important game with Hampton. But I believe that's all we've got to wrap up on this week,
Absolutely.
Coach. Once again, appreciate you sitting down with me. Got a
Absolutely.
different logo this week. We're 4 for 4 now.
4 for 4. I've got one. We just took a picture of it. We'll get it up there next week, and hopefully
Hopefully we'll find some more. We'll have to dig through the record books
We'll
to try
just
to
keep
find
adding
some.
up through there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you make a deep run in the playoffs, we might have to start reusing some because we might have to run out.
I don't know about it. We may find them.
But if so, that means you're still playing and you're still winning.
That's it.
So
That's it.
that's a good sign at the end of the day.
That's it.
But that's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Green County Express Dalton Ramsey Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.
Thank you.